drivers and Gugelmin. Then it's another 4 seconds back to Vassar, but Zanardi is now only 2.7 seconds behind his teammate Jimmy Vassar. He was 7 seconds behind only 3 laps ago, so it's a remarkable catch-up process.
Yeah, last lap around.
Oh, no!
Oh, there is Alex Zanardi. He's made another mistake at the turn 3 end, but he's beckoning for the marshals to come along and being pushed on. He stalled the engine again. Can you believe it? Last time around, a 55.1. That's an amazing pace for 82 laps into this race. But Zanardi has thrown it all away.
He's praying to the marshals, please, please push me, get me going, get me into this race again. I cannot believe it. He's thrown it away once again, and Chip Ganassi shakes his head. He can't believe it either. What is going on here today? He told Alex to take it steady. I'm sure Alex would say, I wasn't pushing so hard, but he was going so much quicker than anyone else. He was going over a second a lap. Oh, he's got it going again. Somebody's helped him. But I tell you what, those marshals have to be fairly brave to push start a car down there, because there are cars heading down very quickly. And in fact, he's just lost a lap.
He's lost exactly a lap. He comes back out there. He will be, I think, in 10th position. In fact, such has been the attrition in this race. And that's going to be interesting, because he's going to try and get that back. If he can get up to Mauricio Gugelmin, if he can get past Gugelmin, maybe he can hold up Gugelmin, and maybe Herta can win this race. Now, the first 2 cars, there is a gap, first, second, and there is Zanardi in third place. Third place. Neither of these first 2 has ever won a PPG Kart World Series event, and they would love to do it. They're desperate to win it, but there's a gap. It is coming down. You can see how it's come down rapidly.
What a race this is turning into. Fantastic. We've had some great races this year, but this ranks amongst the best. Brian Herta leads from Maurizio Gugelmin, Jimmy Vassar. Al Unser Jr. is now in 4th position, believe it or not. We've been concentrating on the leaders so much that we've really missed the fact that the Penske has come up to 4th place. And that's a remarkable performance from Al Unser Jr. Gilles de Ferran 5th, Marc Blundell is in 6th place.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I'm pretty sure he's going to have to make a pit stop. He came on lap 50. It was right at half distance. It was actually just before lap 48 he came into the pits. So I'm pretty sure Unser's going to have to make another pit stop. I don't think he can go the distance. We'll see whether Brian Herta can. But still a great drive by Al Unser Jr. and great strategy by Roger Penske.
Look how close the top cars are now. Remember, Herta leads, Gugelmin second, Zanardi now well down the order. He's in 10th place as a result of the second mistake of the race. But he's desperate to get past these 2 to go chasing after everyone else. Now, Gugelmin sensibly is not going to fight him here, and Zanardi gets past Gugelmin straight away. Didn't have to think about that at all. He now goes chasing after Brian Herta, but the next one he's really got to get past to gain position is Christian Fittipaldi. So that's the one he'll be looking to get past. He's got to get past these 2. Meanwhile, Herta and Gugelmin can continue their battle for their first victory in the championship. Jimmy Vassar, meanwhile, dropped back a bit. We heard a story that perhaps he's in some sort of tyre trouble. And that does seem a great shame for Vassar, who was running so well in the early part of this race. But it looks as though the #1 car of Jimmy Vassar could be in some sort of tyre difficulty, and that may explain the fact that he's dropped back from Herta and Gugelmin over the last few laps. Let's watch Zanardi. I wonder what spot he's going to pick this time to find his way past. We've seen him overtaking just about everywhere. And we've also just heard on the radio that it could have been a brake problem for Alex Zanardi. Remember, we did mention that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a brake problem. He braked too late. He certainly hasn't had problems getting past anybody else down in that corner, has he?
No.
So I think that's a little bit wishful thinking. Here he is. He's certainly been a little bit more tentative this time and doesn't try and make the pass this time. There's a slower car ahead of Brian Herta. And oh my dear, they made contact. That was a little unnecessary, I think, by Alex Zanardi. He is a lap down. He does want to get the lead lap back. But,
oh no, what are they doing? What are they doing? Alex Zanardi makes contact with Brian Herta when Herta's leading the race. Can you believe it? Brian Herta is pushed out into the tyres. Zanardi thought that he was going to be able to get through there. Herta perhaps wasn't really, I don't know, he didn't aware that Zanardi was there. It was obviously a highly optimistic move by Zanardi. We've got a full course yellow, and we'll have a chance to analyse that in a bit more detail. But the drama is just not ending here in Vancouver. We're on lap number 86. We've got 40, there it is, the replay, and Zanardi was just squeezing his way past in a place where Herta would not have expected another car to try and overtake. He'd have been focusing on the car ahead of them as they turned in there. He'd have been completely unaware, I'm sure, that Zanardi was even thinking about going down the inside.
Yeah, there's 2 very distinct views to that incident. One, of course, Alex Zanardi is trying to get his back. That's his viewpoint. But look how far back he comes. He is alongside Brian Herder. Brian Herder really has... He's trying to stay ahead of the race leader. I mean, he is the race leader. He's trying to maintain that advantage over Mauricio Gugelmin. And I don't know, the way I look at it is that if somebody's trying to get your lead back from the race leader, you better make a pretty clean pass. And I don't think that was a very clean pass. At the same time, Brian Herder knew that Alex Zanardi was a lot faster than him, so there is an argument perhaps he should have let him go. But I don't know, it seems a great shame to end the motor race that way for Brian Herder, who you once again have put on a superb performance for Team Rahal.
Absolutely, and he's got the car running again. They've got it out of the tyres. Look, there he goes, bringing it round. And I wonder just how much damage has been done to the car. You saw Alonso Jr. and Mark Blundell then in, by the way. Remember, Mark had made a stop earlier on. He was really perhaps counting on more yellows earlier on to be able to make it through to the end. Alonso Jr., that will have dropped him down from 4th place. We'll wait to see how that sorts out. Now, Brian has not come into the pit, so perhaps that car's still running okay, but of course, it's ended any chance that he had of taking a win here, which was a very real chance. So highly disappointing there for Brian Herter.
Tell you what though, Alex Zanardi is back on the lead lap. We've still got 12 laps to go, and he's back in 9th place now, Alex Zanardi. But with all that argy-bargy, he has done the job. He's got himself back on the lead lap, and it's not over yet, is it?
It's certainly not. Gugelmin leads them round. Jimmy Vasser second. De Ferran in 3rd position, as we've still got 12 laps to go. All sorts of fun and games. A remarkable afternoon from Alex Zanardi's point of view. Look how close he is now to the back of Alonso Jr.'s car. But remember, in terms of the championship, Gilles de Ferran is ahead of him. And de Ferran being ahead of him means that Zanardi would not wrap up the title if he finishes where he is now. Interesting, he'll still score points, he'll still be in great shape, of course, but he would not actually wrap it up here today. But the main thing on his mind at the moment is finding his way up into 4th place to get past Alonso Jr. And that's not going to be an easy piece of work at all.
I don't know, I think his car is much faster than Alonso Jr.'s Penske Mercedes, and I think the Firestone tyres will be in good shape as well. He eases off a little bit there on Alonso, but look at him making it up again on the main straightaway here. And through turn 2, he hangs back going into that corner so as not to lose the downforce, and pounces down the inside. Beautiful move.
Yeah, locks it up a bit though there. He's may well lose it again to Alonso Jr. as they come out. Jr. trying to squeeze him. Oh, they're nearly great contact. And now Zanardi's got the inside for the chicane. And Franchitti trying to make a move on Alonso. Be careful. These two have made contact before, remember. Portland was where they fell out fairly comprehensively after an incident going down into the 1st corner later on in the race. And now Franchitti running well, though. He's doing a great job here. He needs the points from today, especially with Carpentier not in the race. He needs to close up in the Rookie of the Year rankings, and that's what he's got a chance to do here. The others follow through, but Zanardi now in 4th place goes chasing after Gilles de Ferran, but there's quite a big gap now between de Ferran and Zanardi. Let me see, as Zanardi goes across the line, he's 10 seconds behind de Ferran, just 6 laps to go. So it's going to take some sort of miracle for Zanardi to close that gap, but of course he has been putting in a pretty remarkable performance here this afternoon. You have to say, though, Alex has driven a great season this year, but he's just made too many mistakes today. You cannot get away with making mistakes like he's made today and go on and win races and wrap up championships by driving in that way. He hasn't shown the restraint and the control that he really needs.
No, he hasn't, has he? But unbelievable, really, that after all that drama, he should come back and be in the top 4 right now. Just an astonishing performance. But let's not forget Mauricio Gugelmin. He has driven superbly all season long, and a victory has continued to elude him. Just 5 laps to go now for Mauricio Gugelmin. There is a battle for 2nd place between Vasser